And today we're excited because Kathrein Rein's going to be here. And before we get to her and learning how to get our stale listings sold, we've got a few announcements. But let's do some tell us something good. Anyone have good news or some good things to share over the last week? Anyone have good news to share?
I do.
Yes.
We have a closing coming up this Thursday.
Nice.
This property has come a long way. It was there was a tenant in there for 20 years. It was a hoarder.
Oof.
It took 4.5 days of intense work, probably
Yeah.
another 7 days of other work to get this house ready. We got an offer on the first day and negotiated a contract, and it closes day after tomorrow.
I love it. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
Someone else. Good news. Good things to share.
We got rain.
We need rain.
We got rain. It was great.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Other good news. One more. Let me ask this question. Did anybody apply the 4 steps or the 4 bullet points that James shared last week for their listings that are growing kind of long on market? Did anyone do anything with that? Well, here's a story for you. One of our agents in Vail got a $200,000 price reduction on a $3 million property and a $150,000 price reduction on a $1.5 million property. And the phones blew up. And I haven't heard if the properties went under contract. But what I will say is if you didn't hear James's 4 steps on how to get your properties right-sided or how to know when your properties need to be remarketed, go back to the email that I sent you last Tuesday with the recording from James and apply those 4 quality control checks to what you've got going. Let's move on. We've got some announcements. Today at 11 o'clock, right here on this same Zoom channel, I'm going to be teaching the AI playbook for beginners. Now, some of you are thinking, who cares? I'm not going to follow the AI trend. I'm too old for this, or I'm too this for that, this, or too that for this. AI is coming to get you, and you've got to know what to do. And I'm going to share with you some very simple things. I am not a techie person, and I'm seeing the benefit of using AI. Consider this class and I think I got a graphic here. Consider this class AI 101. And the reason it's important to take AI 101 is, at the Rocky Mountain Summit next month, we're going to be doing some AI 201. And I've got some special announcements coming soon about some AI 301. And the reality is, Gary said it at MegaCamp, and he keeps saying it. If you don't focus on learning AI, you're going to lose customers. It is happening. So we're going to be sharing some basic things around AI. Your MCAs have sent you the playbook that I'm going to be going through today. See you on Zoom. Canva launches on September 5. So at MegaCamp earlier this month, we announced our new Chief Marketing Officer. And the announcement of the new Chief Marketing Officer is great because KW has never had a chief marketing officer, and I think everybody on these screens would agree that if there's one thing that we need, especially in the markets that we're dealing in, is great marketing. And the launch of Canva for us starts on the 5th. We have what's called a flagship partnership with them. It is better than Canva Pro, which many of you are paying for. Who's paying for Canva Pro? Anybody here? Some of you, yeah. This is better than Canva Pro because it's Canva with the MLS built right in, with KW KW templates built right in. And we are excited that it launches on September 5. There's nothing you need to do. You're going to get information about this and training will start next week on how to use it and use it effectively. More on that coming soon. We are offering to you some fast track coaching on taking more listings and getting them sold. The Taking More Listings classes start September 17th, and they will be on Wednesdays for about 5 sessions, or maybe it's 6. And the Getting Them Sold classes will start on Thursday. And like, that's a lot, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And who in here would like to get more listings and get more listings sold? Raise your hand if you would like to do that. Okay, awesome. So here's what we're asking from you. We want you to scan that QR code and commit to doing this, or go back into your emails and commit to doing this. We are asking you to also make a $50 donation to benefit the Laura Cardin Kids Scholarship. If y'all don't know Laura, and she might be on the call, but Laura is a member of the Summit Market Center, and she was the OP before me, and her husband passed away tragically. And we are asking for a $50 donation to be part of the coaching in support of scholarship funds set up for Laura's kids. So please take note of that and make sure that you join the coaching opportunities. Okay, more things. KW's regional rally is happening on September 15th. More news coming on that. And a couple additional things regarding the Rocky Mountain Summit. Last week, I told you about the new speakers that we've added. And I told you about the Luxury Summit with Carolyn Huo and Tony Giordano as the keynote speaker. Kathrein, who's going to be speaking here in just a few minutes, will be there. Cindy will be there, and Jennifer Chambers will be there. We think that the Luxury Summit this time around will be very different than before. Whereas it used to be a big mastermind for 3 hours, this time it's going to be mastermind, and it's going to be strategy, and it's going to be workshop, and Tony's going to be speaking, and we think that you'll love this experience. This, folks, would be a great thing to invite non-KW agents to, and they are always welcome. If you want to do that, get a hold of Marielle at Summit or Sarah at Vail and let us know who to invite for you. We have an event on Monday in the evening called the Summit Soiree. This is a little add-on to your Rocky Mountain Summit. If you want to have cocktail hour with Phil Jones and Tony Giordano and Jay and Wendy Papazan, Caroline, our panelists from the Luxury Summit, Wendy Harrelson, Stacy Heron, then you want to sign up for this. We've also got breakfast with Phil Jones, and that's on Tuesday morning for all of you who are early risers. So we have a few discounted tickets left for the summit. So don't go to the kwcoloradoevents.com to sign up for the summit. Go to your MCA or your team leader. If you want to add on the luxury event or the breakfast or the cocktail hour, then you should go to kwcoloradoevents.com for those. Any questions about the upcoming things? Anyone? All right. Last week we talked about the language of real estate. And did you remember we looked at KWRI's numbers and the region's numbers and your local board numbers, and then we looked at our numbers. Today, I want to share a little bit about market share, and we're going to zoom through this really fast, and you're going to get an email from me later today if you want to study these reports more. Starting with top of the Rockies, and these reports are covering Summit County, Grand County, and Park County. And I know it's kind of blurry. This says Keller Williams. Keller Williams in the Summit County area is running 5th in the market behind Remax, Slifer, Jefferson, and Sotheby's. And while Sotheby's is declining in units, and while Jefferson is going up a little bit and Slifer is going up a little bit, Remax is going up a lot, and so are we. We are having a significant growth in units. We weren't number 5 a year ago. We are now, and we're celebrating that. Here's volume. It's the same kind of story. We used to be down here. Now we are here. We're still in the 5th position, but Sotheby's is growing slower. Breckenridge is growing pretty quickly. Remax has very slow growth, and that says Slifer also very slow growth. Mountain Properties. This is Eagle County, excuse me, this is Vail Board of Realtors, whatever's covered by Vail Board of Realtors. Whoops. Keller Williams for units is in 4th place and growing. And interestingly, for the units story, Sotheby's is down, but they're in 3rd place. Berkshire Hathaway is down, and they're in 2nd place. And Slifer is way down, because this was last year to date. This is today. And they are in 1st place. We are moving up, and that's pretty exciting. By the way, Compass is moving up as well. They're right behind us. And here's volume for the Vail Board of Realtors. Slifer's has the top spot, Sotheby's 2nd, Berkshire Hathaway 3rd, Compass 4th. And I can't read that, and I apologize. Engel and Volkers, and then Keller Williams is in the 7th spot. So just sharing where we are so that we can begin to think about how to continue moving up. Speaking of great moving up, Sarah O'Connor from Top of the Rockies just capped. Congratulations, Sarah. Magda, as announced last week, has capped at Mountain Properties, and the Fishkin team just capped at Mountain Properties in the last few days. Congratulations to all of our cappers. All right, I'm excited that Kathrein Rein is here. Kathrein is a top KW agent in South Florida, 5-time #1 agent in Florida, part of Gary Keller's top 100 group. She arrived at the US with $750 in her pocket and has built a massive real estate business. Kathrein is going to be at the Luxury Summit next month on the 21st of September, and we are excited that she's here today, specifically sharing information about how to move stale listings. I don't see Kathrein. Where'd she go?
I'm here.
There you are, Kathrein. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. I love Colorado. You live in a beautiful state. I love to come skiing in Colorado. I always go to Aspen, so I'm a little jealous you get to live there all year round, but you're probably jealous of my sunshine. So I'm excited to be here and also to see Jennifer. She's my bestie on all the conventions we go to. We always room together. My husband calls her my work wife, so that's a big joke. Anyway, excited to be here. So let's dive into this. Can I share my screen? Do I have? Oh yeah, I do. Wow, you're so prepared. I can't believe it. Well, first of all, I want to say all the events you have and all the classes, I want to take them. If you want to invite me, I'd love to attend all this AI stuff. I'm really excited because I've learned recently, like if you don't dive into AI, you will be replaced by AI. So we got to dive into that. And I'm also excited to come to the Rocky Mountain Summit. I'm really, really excited. I hope to see some of you. Okay, let's get started. So this is going to be something really quick. And so you got to really pay attention because I'm going to go very fast through all of that. I'm going to fly through it. And there will be some tips where you're going to think, oh my God, well, this is pretty common sense. Okay, that's fine. But there will be some things where you're like, oh, I have never thought of that. Maybe I can, utilize that and put it into my business. We're going to send you a follow-up email with the whole slideshow. So you don't need to take too many notes. Just pay attention. The reason I started changing my strategy was last year, around October, I saw the market changing. And I'm like, we need to change something on our listings because if we always do the same things, it's not going to work. Okay, let's jump into this. How to move sale listings, strategies to re-engage buyers and agents to successfully sell properties. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. We all know this quote, and we're still yet doing the same stuff over and over again. So the things are not working in this market. So we got to change up strategies. Number one, I want to say, be picky who you work with, especially in this market. I've turned down a few listings recently where the sellers didn't want to sign a long listing agreement. They were unrealistic with the price. They were, quite frankly, jerks. I don't have time nor the money to work with people that are not real sellers. We're not a gallery where we're showcasing art that we don't want to sell. We want to make money, and we're in business to make money. So for me, it's now a big business decision. I just turned down a $2 million listing because the guy wanted to give me a 3-month listing agreement. I'm sorry. And it was a condo on top of it. Condos in South Florida right now are very hard to sell. So if I'm taking on your property, you need to give me a commitment. The commitment goes both ways. So very important, be picky who you work with, have long listing agreements. I know some of you sell $20, $30 million houses. I personally in Miami would only take them on a 3-year listing agreement because, you know, you invest money into those properties. So work with people who need to move, right? That are real sellers, price correctly, and have a long listing agreement in place. So a little bit about me. I mean, Russ pretty much said it all. We cover everything from Homestead, Miami to Fort Lauderdale. We sell luxury homes, but I also do want to say I just got a referral from Steve Epstein in Santa Barbara, and we're closing today for $160,000. So I'm not shy to also take lower priced listings. I've been the top solo agent in South Florida for the past 8 years. I have my own mega agent office. I'm sitting there right now. I'm an opportunity seeker. I'm financially free. I own a lot of rental properties. I have a lot of tenants, which not always positive, but you know, here we are. I'm a mom of 6. I have 2 kids, 1 cat, 2 dogs, and 1 husband. I'm in, yeah, like, right, six children. I'm in Gary Keller's mastermind. I've been a millionaire real estate agent for the past 4 years. Let's see if I make it this year. And I'm a self-made millionaire. I'm from Germany. I came here with nothing. First generation immigrant. So is my husband. And I do a lot of those speaking gigs because I just love to teach others what I've learned. And I've also been voted the best dressed realtor in Miami. So if you ever see me on one of those conferences, I'm very easy to spot because I always wear turquoise. I don't know how this all started. Well, I do know how it all started, but that's too long of a story. But I always wear turquoise. That's just my color. And my slogan is make it rain, because that's my last name. So I heard it was raining last week in Colorado, so I made it rain. Okay. All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about my team structure so you understand how I work. Okay. I'm a solo agent. I'm the only licensed person on the team. Why am I a solo agent? My tolerance for I'm not going to say the word, is very low. So I can deal with people on my team. I know like some people love to have a team. I just can't because I'm like, it's really not that hard. Just do the work. So I found it better to just have assistants. And I think that's also encouraging for people that are solo agents. You can have a big business if you're the only agent. And I really don't work that much anymore because I have most of my team members do the work. I mean, I still do work a lot, don't get me wrong, but all the tedious work behind the scenes is done by my assistants. So number 1, I have Jessica. She's my director of operations. She's the only person in the US that's an admin. She mostly works from home, but also twice a week in the office, depending on, it's a floating position. Then we have Fatih. She's our transaction coordinator. She's in the Philippines. She takes care of all the timelines, contracts, so on. We have Sandra. She's my marketing manager, and Vianne is my marketing associate. So what makes me very different, and I've had this for probably 8 years, I have a marketing agency within my company. So I've had what Gary is talking about now. I've been doing this for 8 years. So they work for me full time. So what they do beautiful presentations like this. They do all the, I tell them I need a flyer for this, I need that. Before this presentation, if you follow my Instagram, it's Beautiful Miami Team. I did a little, behind the scenes, how I warm up, how messy my office is at times, to be authentic. And I tell them, listen, here's a video posted also from Instagram. I posted on Instagram because Instagram has filters. Facebook does not have filters, okay? And I'm not 20, so I want to look pretty. And they post it on Facebook, but then I also tell them to download it and post snippets in the future, right? They do stuff like that full time. We have once a week a team meeting where we discuss what we need to do. Today we talked about, okay, we're going to luxury symposium. I need marketing assets. I'm going to be driving there and I don't have to fly somewhere. So I need to bring I need to bring swag. I need to bring stuff. What are we bringing? Right? So very important. So, and then I have, I don't know how it works in Colorado, but in South Florida, even on a rental, I have to show properties in person. Why? Because we just don't really have lock boxes unless you're in Broward County, which is a little bit, you know, not as high end. And even for rentals, because agents don't turn off the lights, they leave doors open. I mean, we don't have a very high intelligence in the broker community in South Florida. So you have to do those things. So I have 3 licensed agents and I pay them per showing. They're not part of my team. They do their own business, but they sign a showing agreement and they're highly coached by me. So in my showing agreement, it says, I mean, you're going to laugh about this, but I've learned over the last few years, you have to point it out to people that they need to, when they wear sandals, they need to have their nails done, that they need to have their hair needs, because that's my standard. You know, I always look great when I go on showings. I would never wear workout outfits to a showing. I'm always dressed up and I want them to uphold that standard. Okay, let's dive into this. Number 1, so let's go through all the tips that I use on moving my listings. So in this market right now, I feel communication with buyers and sellers is absolute key, and we need to really over communicate to a level where you feel like you're babysitting everyone. But if they don't hear from you, it's really, really bad, especially if nothing is happening. They need to hear from you even more. Okay, after each showing, my VAs are trained to call the buyers or the buyer's agents if they're represented by an agent. And here's the 3 questions we ask. Is your client going to make an offer? Because that's really, truly, that's all we care about. Yes or no. Number 2, what would it take for your client to make an offer? And number 3, how much do you think the house will sell for? This is super important because this is the feedback we give to our sellers. And then we can also, it makes it easier for you to ask for a price reduction if, you know, you have something listed for 3 million and everybody says it's going to sell for 2.5. You know, other professional agents that have toured your home said the house will sell at 2.5. Would you consider a price reduction? It makes it much easier for you. Okay. On the showing, we usually try to ask that, but you know, we all know those buyers that are weird, that don't want to tell you anything at the showing, so you have to call them afterwards. But ideally, we ask that at the showing, so we don't have to call them. So this is a must for us. Number 2, so now here, I do want to point out, I don't do Facebook Live anymore. I do Instagram Live because of the filter. They removed the filter from Facebook. So whenever I'm at a property and I show a property, or my showing agents show a property, I encourage them to do an Instagram Live to show the property, because more eyes on the property, and create content. You need to create content. Ask, do you have any questions? Please comment. We need to, you know, engage people. And then after I'm done with the Instagram Live video, we usually repost it and repurpose it for stories. We sometimes download it and put it on YouTube, because the truth is, people don't want those high gloss videos anymore. They want something authentic. Otherwise they go on HGTV. They want to see how the property looks through your eyes. And you know, I have, you know, I make mistakes and I say funny things, and people love that. That's engaging. You want to be different, not like everybody else. Okay, so then we do something called reverse prospecting Thursday. So in your MLS, do you have a reverse prospecting function? Do you? Yes. Okay. So I get very often from other realtors emails saying, hey, I saw you sent your listing to my clients. The MLS number is XYZ. Let me know if you want to show it. Who in this world has time to look up the MLS number? Do you know how many clients I work with? I have no idea what client, what listing. Like, please make it easy for me. So we're making it very easy for the agents. So we send them a flyer for reverse prospecting of the property that's unbranded. We send them a walkthrough video, like through our eyes. We send them a professional video. We send them floor plans. We send them whatever they need once a week. And now this doesn't end. So if they get it once and a week later, we have new agents that are added to the list, we send it again to the agents that had gotten it in the past. So can they miss our listing? Really, they cannot, because we're all over them. We're almost spamming them, but we want to make it easy. And agents are so busy that we really need to have the property almost smacked into their face, right? Here, like, look, look, look. And this is why many times when there is a community that has 15 active listings, ours is the one that sells. And then the other agents call us and ask, what did you do? Well, I just followed up with the agents. I made it easy for them. I had the property in front of their face, and, you know, I didn't just send them an MLS number. I mean, come on. Okay, so then this is very simple, super simple, but a lot of people forget that on Fridays. And again, this is not something I do. This is what my admins do. This is on our calendar. Every Friday, they have to move the photos around. Now, there are rules. I have a very specific eye because I come from the entertainment business. So I have a very specific eye on the photos. How I organize the photos. I take on every listing before I put it on the market at least 2 to 3 hours to organize the photos in a very specific way. The last time I taught this class, they asked me what my way is. So I mean, you're in the mountains, so you probably don't have pools on all of your houses. South Florida, we have pools, okay? First photo needs to be a pool. I never understand how people have a listing with a pool and you have to go through 10 photos to see a pool photo. Like, what are you actually selling? Like, come on. So when I bought my house, it was a for sale by owner. My house is a beautiful estate home with a almost Olympic size pool. Well, it's not Olympic size, but it's pretty long pool. It's actually 2 pools. And my pool is amazing. Pool picture number on my listing of the house I bought was number 56 was the pool. I mean, I got a very good deal on the house, and it had a fence around the pool. I mean, I'm just thinking, man, this is like an award-winning pool and it's picture 56, really? So figure out what is the trophy photo, okay? And then that photo will be swapped out by trophy photo number 2. So we have usually 3 photos that they're allowed to use as the first photo. If they put any other photo, like a closet photo or something as the first photo, I'm gonna have a fit, because that's not how I want the properties to look like. So then the other strategy that I use, so I wanna give people that are high Ds, because luxury properties are purchased by high Ds. They wanna see, okay, in the first 10 photos, they wanna see the entire house. So don't start with an outside photo, an aerial view, another aerial view, then 6 photos of the master bedroom. We're not doing that. We're doing an outside photo, then we do how you walk into the house. First impression, living area, 1 kitchen, 1 main bedroom, and whatever. So quick overview of the house. And then after those 10 photos, you can put your 5 main bedroom photos, whatever. I don't care. Nobody looks past the first 10 photos, especially not if the pool photo is picture 56. Okay, so make sure you pay close attention to those photos. And when you change them around once a week, it changes the algorithm on Zillow, on realtor.com. It's so important, and most people don't do it. Now, also change the description, even if it's just a little bit, move sentences around, change a little things. Add twilight photos. I mean, that's something so simple that we've all ignored over the last few years, because we put a property on the market and it's sold in 2 seconds. Twilight photos, just, don't make it look like a baby shower. One time this house here on the bottom, it's like a $7.5 million listing. We had to go through several versions of twilight photos because my seller kept telling me, well, it looks like our house is having a girl because it was so pink. So just make sure that it looks halfway realistic. And you use for that box brownie. That's what we use. All right. I don't know if this is applicable in your market. I do that in my market. Sometimes I want to reset the listing. I take it temporarily off the market, and then I put it back the next day. I always get permission from the seller, because then everybody on the MLS gets a active listing. I don't know if that's allowed in your market. I don't want you to get in trouble, so check with your market center. That refreshes the listing. And if I have sellers that just want to take a break for a few months, I also don't cancel it out. I take it temporarily off the market. It doesn't collect days on the market, and they don't get like 2,000 phone calls. Okay, so this is an important strategy that we implemented is every Saturday morning, I think 7 or 8 a.m., everybody gets a newsletter, everybody in our database, and everybody that inquires on all of our listings, anybody that goes to our open houses, even if they have an agent, I put them on the newsletter. Don't repeat, I said that, but you know, they might not work with that agent in the future. So everybody goes on that newsletter, and the newsletter is not about, although it looks in those photos, it's all about listings. It's not. It starts with things to do this weekend, and my team has to find fun things. I used to, in the first few months, I used to always proofread it. Now I just trust that they do it right. I want to give my clients value. I want to give them, okay, what's happening in Miami? What are we doing? Here's our client event. And then I sometimes talk about an award I've gotten, that I'm speaking at like mega camp or whatever. So they see I'm, you know, doing things. And then we usually talk about open houses. I never send an email out just listed, ever, because people don't care about that. That's just on the bottom of the email. And then it says, oh, just sold, just listed, right? But make it about the clients, because if you don't give them value, they're gonna unsubscribe. So my unsubscription rate has gone down significantly. All right. What else? Oh, well, and that also, you know, if you guys have a cool listing that you say, hey, Kathrein, why don't you feature my listing? Send it to me, and we feature that in our newsletters. And then I can see exactly who clicks on the listing, and I can give you the names of the people. And if they buy it with you, then, you know, we'll work out a referral. I'm always happy to feature other listings, because then my clients see, hey, she's also selling in other parts of the country or has referral partners. Because isn't it the worst when your client tells you, oh, I just bought a $20 million house in Miami, and you're like, oh man, I wish they had told me. I would have called Kathrein. She could have helped them, and vice versa. And I've had a few clients that did that, and I'm like, why did you? And it's my fault. It's your fault if you don't educate the clients that we also sell in other parts of the country. Now, social media, I mean, you really have to follow me on Instagram. I would say every fifth or 10th of the post is actually me. The rest is done by my team, because the truth is, like, you know, I already have a job. And social media is a whole other job, and they post for me a lot. It's mostly fashion, me in a beautiful dress, me in front of a beautiful house. And we talk about our properties all the time, and people really can't miss our listings. We have, I think, like almost 50,000 followers. I'm not a Kardashian, but 50,000, pretty decent for a real estate agent. So you know, that's how we engage with the clients, and that's how we sold listings on social media. People inquire on our listings. Now, posting is not enough. You also have to engage. So when people comment, you have to respond, not just love, but also respond. You have to send people DMs if they have questions. You have to engage with people. And the truth is, it's a lot. You can't do this alone. For that, you need really help of a VA that has eyes on that all day, because I mean, it's like, it's a whole job. Now, okay, marketing review. Okay, this is super important. We do this, and this, again, I have helped to do this. And I'll send you, when I send the recap email to all of you, I'll send you an example of that, so you see how it looks like. This is a beautiful, like 10-page thing that we send to our sellers, and it shows all the marketing efforts, including the marketing dollars I've spent. And there they really see, wow, she really spent money. So it shows all the Instagram posts, all the stories, all the ads, all the walkthroughs. It shows everything that we've done, all the magazines we've featured the listing in, the weekly analytics and review strategy adjustments, everything, because we send them once a year through List Track. I don't know if you have that app in your MLS. It's an automatic email that goes to the sellers. It's called List Track, like one T in the middle with a C in the end. And that gives them an update. It looks like we put this together once a week, but we don't. It's automated. And we put that also in this beautiful like update. And by doing that, you show the seller you're doing your job. Okay, you're doing your job, And I always say to my sellers, my marketing works. My marketing works 100%. The only thing left to do is change the price because I've done everything from my end. And when you do that, you have less calls from people, you have less complaints, less canceled listings, and it's much easier to ask for a price reduction. Property blasts. I'm sure you have something like that in your MLS. It's basically something that sends the listings to all of the realtors in your MLS. And funny enough, this is actually a listing I just took off the market. So I think we should change this out. Anyway, this, you know, this sends, it's like $29. It basically sends everybody in your MLS. You can also pick different areas. We sent this to New York. We sent this to Colorado, and people are like, wow, this is what you get in Miami for $2.35 million, but it was still overpriced. So that's why it didn't sell. And we show this the sellers on what we've done. So this is very easy, very cheap, very simple. And again, another way of reaching agents. You need to bombard them from all different angles. Oh, this is something really cool. So we use Listing to Leads. This is another software that we use. It's very cheap. I've been using this for like 10 years. It's $70 a month or something. And put a 30-day trial on here if you want to try it out. It gives you all kinds of tools. We're not even using all their tools, but it gives you a letter to nearby home sellers when you list the property, and it looks like a handwritten note. So it's really neat. And you can also draft a letter when it's pending, and you can draft a letter when it's sold. And it basically gives them a link to get the information on the home, but it also gives them the opportunity to check their home value. So we've gotten a lot of listings by sending out those letters. And then we do also a different letter. And that letter you can send twice in the same area, because otherwise they're going to figure out it's coming from you. It's basically a letter coming from the home seller saying, hey, I decided to list my home with Kathrein. Here's her number. It's coming on the market in 2 weeks. If you're interested, call her. So that does two things. It's not another letter from just another silly realtor. It comes from the home seller, and people are like, wow, your home seller is very proactive, but we do all the work, right? And we send it to the sellers, and I got a $25 million potential listing coming up within the next 2 years from one of those letters, because they're like, wow, your seller really loves you. And you just can't send it twice in the same area for different houses, because then people realize it's you, right? And it's handwritten, the name of the neighbor on the envelope. We send that out. And then we also send those out. So, you know, one comes from the realtor, one comes from the seller. So great results whenever we have a listing. So we market around our listings. Final tips and conclusions. Okay. Follow up after showings. Consistency is key in marketing stale listings. So follow up is more important than ever. You gotta really wrangle people in. It's a lot, but you gotta do it. Use multiple channels, keep content fresh and engaging, monitor performance, adjust strategies as needed, and change things up to trigger algorithm. And most important, don't beat yourself up, okay? The many times I thought about quitting the last few months, and I'm questioning my skills, has been crazy. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what's happening here? And it's not you, it's just the market. The market has changed, and people need to get used that a listing takes time, like normal, healthy time to turn around. And when you set those expectations in your listing consultations, it's a lot easier to ask for price reductions. I tell people always in the beginning, listen, the market is very unpredictable. So as long, you know, I have all the market stats, but it's a trial and error. We just have to see how the market reacts to your listing. And then we have to adjust the strategy, because I know my marketing works. My marketing works. Okay, well, this is pretty much it. I think we're good on time. I also teach some other classes, a seller's consult. My buyer's consultation on Zoom it's the best buyer's class ever. If you want to take it, message me. I don't teach it too often. This will save you a lot of time. I convert my buyers and sellers sign with me over Zoom before I even meet them. Saves me a lot of time. Okay, all right, I'm gonna shut up.
Kathrein, Jennifer asks, can you share anything about your price improvement conversation with sellers?
Yeah, it's very simple. You send them this marketing review, and then you schedule a call and you say, okay, so how do you feel about the activity on your listing? And let them talk. And then we say, okay, well, we've had the property on the market for 4 weeks. We don't really have any showings. If you don't have any showings, this is what you say. Usually, if you don't have any showings, once the listing comes on the market, that means we're at least 10% overpriced. If we've had showings, at least 5, we say, okay, we've had 5 showings on the listing, which is great, but no offers, which usually means in this market, we're at least 5% overpriced. Are you open to a price adjustment? You've done your job, so it's not that hard to ask for it.
So what if they say, no, I really want to stick with this price?
Well, it's usually a conversation I have before I take the listing, right? I don't want to work with anybody that's going to say no.
Right.
But I've had a
And
few.
if you haven't,
Yeah,
and if you haven't,
if
so
you've
like,
had
let's
the
say
listing
we all
from last
have,
year, right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, you say, okay, let's talk about your motivation. Go back to the motivation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when you want to be close to your grandchildren. And then look at that market and talk to the agent that you hopefully referred them to move to, and say, how's your market moving? Is it moving slow? Is it moving fast? And they're probably going to tell you it's moving very slow. And you go back to the seller and say, well, I spoke with the agent that you're working with in Philadelphia, and they also said their market is very slow. So whatever you're going to give in on this house, you're going to save on the next. So how about we reduce the price by 5%? You have a $5 million listing by $250,000. We're going to get you out of this house, closer to your grandchildren, and your next agent is going to save you equal amount on the next house, and it's going to be a wash. Guys, I ask a lot of questions, and they kind of need to have those ideas of. Sometimes I have sellers call me and ask, hey, should we reduce the price? I'm like, wow, cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have those sellers right now. So yeah, I think that that's a good thing when that happens.
Well, I think that's also a valuable lesson. Any listings you take right now, you need to have this conversation up front, right? I have a really good seller that kept on asking. He's like, I really need to sell this house. He's like, I don't care if I take less, I can make more money with that money that I have in my pocket. Let's just sell. And I'm like, cool. I want all sellers to be like that. So when I have the listing consultation, I talk with people about this seller, because I really don't want to be a gallery of somebody testing the market. This is not the market to test the market.
No,
you're not.
Definitely not.
I can already tell you the test results. It's not going to work in your favor.
Yeah.
Kathrein, do you ever put that into the contract? Deadlines of at 4 weeks, we will discuss a 5% reduction if no showings, showings and no offers, or no showings, no offers, we want to discuss 10%. Will you ever actually put that in contract to sell?
It really depends. If I have like a stickler seller that's very, like a doctor or an engineer. Exactly, there you got it. Then usually I put in automatic price reductions every 2 weeks if no offer is received, but there's not a lot of people that go for that. So I changed my listing contracts. I didn't change the contract. I put an addendum in the listing contract for many things. We don't have a holdover clause in South Florida, which I learned the big lesson. Showed a house 2 days before it expired to an unrepresented buyer. Listing expired, new agents listed, and double ends my buyer. So, I put a lot of clauses. It's a learning process because I never used to worry about those things. I also put in that if they take it off the market for whatever reason, family in town or inconvenient for showings, it automatically extends the contract. You need to protect yourself because you're investing money. And I don't like to, I'd rather do nothing and sit by the pool or go to Aspen skiing.
Okay, folks, we are out of time. Kathrein, thank you very much for sharing so much with us today. And we are excited to see you in a few weeks in Vail. And I know we've got a few more questions in the chat. If you asked a question in the chat, we will get an answer to you straight away. So Kathrein, thank you so much.
Yes. Why don't you just send me the chat transcript and I get back to everyone, because I feel bad. I don't like unanswered questions, but I know like I went over my time. So
I love it. No, you were great and we appreciate it. And I am saving the chat right now and I'll get it.
perfect.
We'll get those questions answered. Kathrein, thank you so much.
Wonderful. You're
A few
welcome.
more things here for everyone else. So by the way, this is Kathrein's Instagram and she's so clever, right? Here's what she's doing today. And I don't know when she posted this, but you know, think about your business. Gary says that your business should be a media company. And Kathrein is making her business a media company because even when she takes 45 minutes to pour into our people in Colorado, she is still marketing that as a business person. So I want to ask you, raise your hand if you got at least one takeaway that you can immediately put into your business. Yes? Okay, good. I see some hands. Next week, Sandra Rathey is going to be here. Sandra was on stage with Gary Keller 2 weeks ago at Mega Camp, and she is going to share how hyper local newsletters is helping her to dominate the market in South Florida. And I know we got a bunch of South Florida going here, but when we have an opportunity to have the #1 agent in Florida speak to our people, shouldn't we take that opportunity, folks? Going forward, Gretchen Kingma is going to be speaking to us on September 9th. She's going to talk about how to use what you used to do. For her, it's occupational therapy, to get more business in what you're currently doing, that is selling homes. She was a Keller Williams agent for many years. She's currently an agent with Real, and she is an expert on how to use other avenues of expertise and bring them into real estate. Aaron Kaufman is going to be talking about the Keller Williams effect, and he is an amazing speaker on the value proposition of Keller Williams. MAPS coach Krista Staub, who is also an investor in the Summit County Market Center, she's going to be talking about AI and some simple strategies on how to increase the effectiveness of your AI game. And again, I will see all y'all in about an hour right back here on Zoom to talk about AI 101. Have a great week, everybody. Talk soon. Thank you, Kathrein.